14th Annual International Businesswoman of the Year Award. I'm Kelly Lightfoot Foyer. I'm the president of OWIT South Florida, and I'm an attorney with First Int'l David and Joseph. Thank you all for joining us here for lunch today. I want to begin by giving a huge thank you to Kate Hudson for being here as an amazing example to all of us as a successful, talented woman. Kate is an accomplished actress, a businesswoman, and now an author. If you haven't picked up your copy of Kate's book, you can do so in the lobby after lunch. In just a minute, South Florida's very own Lisa Petrillo of CBS is going to be here with Kate on stage for a conversation about Kate's career, her business, and her new book, Pretty Happy, Healthy Ways to Love Your Body. We'll then commence our award ceremony honoring 4 of our very own outstanding South Florida businesswomen for their accomplishments and success in business. Before we get started with lunch, I want to thank our truly amazing sponsors who are the backbone of everything we do here at OWIT. Thank you to Books and Books, the best bookstore in South Florida, our public relations agency, the Conroy Martinez Group. Thank you, Total Bank, not just for the amazing Marty Mang, but also for your unparalleled support of OWIT. Thank you to our VIP reception sponsors, First Int'l David and Joseph, and Latin America Connection. You truly are VIPs to OWIT. Thank you to all of our supporting sponsors as well. Elix Heal, eMerge, Murray Asset Management, Home Financing Center, American Century, Perry Ellis International, the Bousseau Group at Morgan Stanley, the Consulate General of Canada, University of Miami School of Business Administration, and MasterCard. Yay. We encourage all of you here today to support these fantastic local businesses as they support OWIT, our community, and women in business. Now, please enjoy your first course before I'm going to turn everything over to our incredible driving force behind this event, Frances Reeves. But please enjoy your salads, and then we'll get started momentarily.
And again, thank you all so much for coming. And you know, I have to say, I'm pretty happy. We have Kate Hudson, being interviewed by Lisa Petrillo. We have a capacity crowd. We have a great honoree of OWIT's first Lifetime Achievement Award in Marty Mang and her great group from Total Bank. And I do want you to indulge me in a personal moment. Today is the 26th anniversary of the day I met my husband, who's sitting right there. His name is Tom Cook, and it was a blind date at John Martin's right here in Coral Gables. Besides just being a terrific guy and a great support, he is, in his very own words, a devoted servant. And he really is. All those bags, everything you found today, he schlepped up here from our home so that early this morning so we could have it. The zebra rug he brought from Africa so we look kind of cool up here. So thank you, Tom. I love you. And now, how lucky are we, honestly? We have Miami's own entertainment and lifestyle reporter, Lisa Petrillo, here to interview Kate Hudson. Lisa is a 3-time Emmy Award-winning journalist from Miami's CBS 4. She has made it her business to know celebrities, fashion, lifestyle, trends, and even though she's sickeningly thin and gorgeous, she still knows all the great food in town. Miami is lucky enough to call her a native, and OWIT is thrilled that she agreed to come here today. Lisa, why don't you come on up? Doesn't she look great? Let's give her another hand. Where's her lavalier? We need the lavaliers up here, please. Let's get those.
How's everybody doing? How fun is this going to be today? Welcome to the always gorgeous and adorable Kate Hudson. I'm so excited. I just interviewed her for CBS, just backstage now, and she does not disappoint.
And she dances her way. Remember when we came in, she was dancing. She said, Lionel Richie, he's everywhere. That's probably because she had dinner with him last night. So now on to Kate Hudson. We all know she's a Golden Globe winner and an Oscar nominee for her portrayal of Penny Lane in my favorite movie, Almost Famous. But what is truly admirable about Kate is how she moves forward and has created her own business empire. It's not enough for her. Am I doing something wrong? Is that why that? Oh, Lisa was doing something wrong. So back to Kate. Here is what's so impressive about her. She has not stood still. I mean, being an actress, she's already been that. Now she's a mother of 2 very active boys, and the force behind Fabletics, her workout gear line, and now an author. She's pretty happy, just like we are. Kate is a businesswoman who uses her very public platform to inspire others. And it works. Her Broncos won the Super Bowl. I'm sure it was her. Help me welcome her to the stage. Kate Hudson, come on up. That's my husband's zebra rug, Kate.
It's so pretty. Am I going to sit here?
Do you have your lavalier on?
Do I have my what?
Your microphone?
She has
No, I'm going to hold.
Oh, you hold.
I'm going to
Hey.
hold.
Thank you.
Hello again.
Hi.
Is she not gorgeous or what?
Hi.
I mean, really. It's like, whoa, walks in the room. I was telling her when I just interviewed her that she got a haircut, right? Which was
I cut all my hair off.
fabulous.
I know I had to do it, which is so fun because as an actress we get to say, I had to do it. But yeah, I'm doing a movie where it's actually supposed to be shorter. So we're doing it in increments to see what we like. But I was nervous and then I'm so happy. It's so easy.
Well, the first thing I saw when I was researching her was like, the first night I was Kate Hudson, it came up, Kate Hudson comes to New York with the new Bob. Wow, it's New York, So everything you do makes headlines. That's got to be really
I stay off.
good and bad.
I stay off the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like being completely. If someone says something and they go, "Were you?" I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. 'Cause it's always wrong.
It gets, yeah.
It's always wrong. Usually. Well, the Bob was right.
The Bob was right and the Bob looked good, and they all gave it a great review, so they were right on that. All right, well, let's talk a little bit. I told her also, growing up, I'm sure we have a show of hands here, how many did not love Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell? You have 3 other siblings.
I do.
And we talked about it just a minute ago, and obviously when you see how grounded she is in person, it has to be coming from those parents, that family background.
We had a pretty, well, it wasn't a normal childhood, but it was as grounded as I think you could get, and actually we had pretty tough parents. They were pretty tough. Not in terms of, we were a very open family. We talk very openly. They're very much about putting everything out on the table. There's no sweeping anything under any rug in our family. But they were very, manners, politeness, working hard. Those are all things they take very seriously. And we grew up in Colorado, so they moved us out of, LA when we were young. And it was the best childhood.
So it's kind of out of the craziness of LA.
Yeah, it's Aspen, so it's. But we were outside of Aspen. But as a kid, you don't really recognize that. What I grew up with was, riding dirt bikes and hiking and being in nature and chores that, I think every kid has, except I had to weed a garden, which was the worst chore. But it was great. It was a great grounding childhood.
I'm gonna ask you one more question or two before we get to your book, and when it's very exciting about the book, but I think a lot of your fans out here want to talk a little bit about your movie career.
Okay.
And as we said, she was nominated for Oscar. You've done so many films, and the thing about you on camera, I think after we see a movie, is it's just kind of a feel-good. You just have a way about you, just a likability factor. How is it for you?
I need to play like an unlikable character.
Even though
It'd be really good for me.
everybody likes you. How is it for you at the end of a film? What do you take away from the whole movie business in general? Of just that finished product is done, you look back at it, what do you say?
I try not to put too much weight on the end product because it can be, a high expectation when you're not making the movie, when you're not directing the movie, you're not producing the movie, can be depressing sometimes, because you're not really in charge of making the movie. You as an actor, you're really a hired gun. You show up, you want the part, you like what you see on the page, you can't wait to work with who you're working for, and then you walk away from it when you're done shooting it. They edit it, they do everything, and then you see it, and you can either be incredibly excited or you can be like, ooh, that didn't turn out like I thought. So for me, I've always felt like and I'm like this, and this is part of what my book's about too, the essence of what I talk about in the book. It's really about the experience. It's really about like being in the moment and making movies. For me, some people don't like making movies. It can be very boring, actually. I love making movies. It's just so much fun. It's a weird world when you're on a movie set, and it's this great, fantastic, weird group, it's like a circus, and I'm into it. And so when you love it like that, that becomes what you take with you, really, not the end product,
The experience of
the real
actually living in that
experience,
moment.
yeah.
Do you even have to go after a movie anymore that you want? Or
Absolutely,
you do?
always. I think every actor does. We have our sweet spots that sometimes we get, any actor that gets into the business did not get into the business to be like the action hero. They didn't get into the business to be like the rom-com girl.
Sure.
They didn't get into the business to be like the dramatic, indie. They got into the business to be an actor, which means you want to do everything. But then people respond how they respond, and then your career takes you wherever it takes you. And so, what was your question?
You have to seek out the roles.
Oh,
that come
right.
to you.
So most of us, when, if you're, have to want to work with a certain director, want to do something that is maybe different than what people sort of would normally see you in, absolutely. And I believe in always maintaining that thing. If a director wants to read me and audition, they want to read me for a reason. They want to know if I'm right for their vision. And that's what I do. So that also keeps me very grounded,
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about this book. Pretty happy.
Pretty happy.
So,
Pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy. I think that's such a great title because everyone's like, how are you doing? I'm fabulous.
Yeah.
It's really not fabulous. Like last night I was up with my dog all night. Like there's things that happen, And that's what I love about the title. And tell me about where that came from, where you kind of decided to call it. I'm pretty happy.
Well, titles are hard.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking up a title for a book, you're still like, what am I trying to say? This book is really more of a holistic. I don't like using that word because sometimes it throws people off a little bit. But it is a holistic, which means a whole approach to looking at health, right? But in my way, which is not necessarily, perfect. So for me, I feel like when you read the books, and I'm a real avid reader I love self-help books, I love instructional books, I love anything that tells me cleansing books and spa books, I'm all into it. But I don't you can't really sell happiness, like happy, I'm always happy, and you know, it's kind of like, it kind of feels weird, right?
Yeah.
Like the picket fence and everything's gonna be perfect, and how do you get so, and then I get that asked all the time, like, you're so happy all the time, like your mom and you're so happy, and my mom are like, yeah, we're passionate, we have a lust for life, we are pretty happy. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm not like, you know what I mean? And I think that if we get to that place where we go, you know, and my thing I would say is like, we all saw Inside Out, you know, it's like, you can't have joy, it's like, you know, of course, we're bawling at the end of Inside Out because it's so true. You cannot have joy without sadness. It's just, they don't exist without each other. So when you're walking the line of like, you know, things are okay, man, you're okay. I'm pretty happy. I think that's a really great place to be. And I think it's, I also feel like there's no one way. Happiness is so subjective to someone's own experience. And I feel like we need to be embracing more of everybody's individual experiences.
Well, and you say, and the undertitle is pretty happy, healthy ways to love your body. And I know, speaking for many of us as women out there, we all have that love-hate with our bodies. And what to eat, and when to exercise. Guilty if I ate that.
Well, men do, but I think women have an extra added pressure, which is unfair. After that. Why not? I think that we as women are held to this sort of ideal, which is nice if you can get there, right? It takes a lot of work. If you can get there, great. But it's the problem with it is that it's held to something that's not attainable totally, right? You could be the most beautiful, knock dead, gorgeous, work so damn hard to get to this place where you're like, oh, look at me, and you could be miserable, right? And I think that with, you know, women, it's like we have to stop just looking at the picture and the aesthetic. You know, I understand men are very visual, but let's shift that paradigm, right? I feel that way.
Yeah.
So I feel like what is the most attractive and powerful about women is their inner confidence, their strength, and when a woman feels good about herself, I don't care what she looks like, it is the most magnetic thing in the room. And then with that comes less pressure on yourself to have to be a perfect image of something. So I kind of want that to be what this book is. Like, healthy is important. That should be the focus.
Right.
Strong, healthy, and mindful.
And that's what I was going to say. So you touch on lots of things in this book, and it begins with sort of getting to know yourself. You have quizzes, getting to know yourself, talking about figuring out what you eat, how you're going to exercise. But it's not like you must eat this, you must exercise, you sort of give guidelines. If you could tell everybody a little bit about what do you think they're going to get from the book?
Well, I really wanted it to feel interactive. So I think that the hardest thing that we hear all the I wanted it to feel like a girlfriend's dialogue, right? Because like you would like something different than I would like. You might like to go spinning all the time, and I'm like, I just want to dance. No, you don't like spinning. you like to run.
Yeah.
You like to run. Yeah, spinning is not that fun for girls. Let's be honest. It's kind of, yeah. Right, so my point is that we like different things, right? When we sit around and we talk about what works and what doesn't work and whatever, and we try different things, I wanted that to feel like the dialogue, because when we sit around and talk about those things, it immediately becomes motivational, inspirational. The support gets you, you know, if I like have a breakup and I'm sitting there, I don't want to get out of bed, and my friend's like, come on, get up, we're going to a spin class. And you're like, well, I don't want to go to spin, okay, then we'll go to yoga. Okay, I'll go to yoga class. You know, and then you're in the yoga and you're crying, you're like, oh my God, I hate yoga. Okay, that's what I wanted this book to feel like. I wanted it to feel realistic, which is, we have to just keep putting our best foot forward. And then with that, I wanted the book to feel interactive. So I think that a lot of our country is not connected to how they're feeling. And when you start to connect more with how you're feeling, then you start to know what you're into, you start to know where you're at, you start to accept where you're at. Then you start to think and hopefully make realistic goals so that you can actually achieve those realistic goals. And then, you know, you're on a path to what really makes you feel good. I think then it's, you know, then it becomes more fun. The change and shift of lifestyle to be more healthy becomes more of a enjoyable experience than a daunting one.
And you also talk about, you know, not always feeling, I read a quote where you talk about people not always feeling like they have to just be as best as they can, better than that lady, and the whole competition thing, and it's just like, enjoy who you are.
Yeah, like when, yeah. Well, here's the other thing too. I love to work out, right? I love it. If I don't work out for a couple days, I'm like, oh, how do I feel about it? Oh, shit, I haven't worked out. Am I allowed to swear?
Beep.
So,
friends.
So, there's no kids in here.
They will hurt it anyway.
It's true, my kids.
So you don't feel great when you don't work out?
No, so I'm like, yeah, and I think there's a lot of people, you know, that have that in them. They have that discipline, you know, they're into it, and that's great. And then you can get into this really fun place where you can sort of sculpt and figure out what your body responds to the best. You get more and more connected, you know. But I feel, what was your question again? I do this all the time. I talk, I really do. I could talk forever. It's so.
No, you answered it.
Okay.
Yeah. And and first of all, let's talk about like your skin and everything. I mean, do you have a whole beauty regime thing going on? I mean,
that's part of what I talk about in my book. Like, your body tells you what is going on, and my skin. And I do a whole thing in the book, like, I know when I have a pimple or if acne starts to happen that I'm like either stressed out or and like I've got pimples right now. They're all covered. But I've got one that's showing, but it's fine. It means that I'm tired.
You've been a little bit busy.
Which is fine, because I'll know I'll sleep. But again, your body does tell you, you know, what that is when you're dehydrated. I mean, in New York, I was so dehydrated, and everything's just your body tells you what you need, you know.
Do you like to come here to South Florida? I know you've been here many times
So
before.
happy. I'm in Miami a lot.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends here. I love Miami. Yeah, Miami. I don't know what it is, but I guess my hair is curly, and my skin likes the humidity. My hair kind of looks like it belongs. My DNA might have something, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just feel like I respond to. I get just. I don't know.
And you can wear your little outfits and perfectly your skin.
I want to go like salsa dancing, eat some Cuban food.
Papacito,
Yeah.
a little bit of everything.
Totally.
Talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial side. And you have so many women here who are business women who have done so well
We
with their
need
careers.
more and more
right?
female entrepreneurs.
Girl power.
Yeah, man. It's tough. It's tough. I think I'm writing an essay right now that's going to be out on Mother's Day that I think will explain a lot of that. So I don't want to get into that. I don't want to spoil that, but I think that women, there's a balance that, you know, a really hard balance that we struggle with, especially if you're a mother, of how, you know, it's the question I get asked all the time, like, how do you balance it all? And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I don't know. I just really try to put one foot in front of the other and try to figure out. What I do know is that the more that I'm working and the more that I get into different aspects of wherever my life is taking me, entering the business world has been one of the most fascinating, interesting, and it makes me realize how important it is to have more women in the world of business and entrepreneurial women.
And I'm just gonna, because I want to make sure you know what we're talking about, and I know you guys do, but Fabletics, which is her activewear line, yoga, is phenomenal. I was telling her that my daughter's on Facebook and just saw it right away, and it's like, she wears it, I want it, let's sign up. So that's a big thing. You didn't have to get into that other step.
No, I also didn't realize how successful it would have been in the first couple of years. We've only been going for 3 years, and we are, you know, large. It was like a shock. You know, we kind of thought there's a hole in the market. I felt very passionate about empowering women to make lifestyle changes and shifts. I wanted to reach a more broad spectrum of women. So that is why I'm much more interested in making clothes that are truly affordable, especially in our economy right now. It's just, you know, and I want to bring every woman into it. I didn't want to, I just want to be accessible to everyone, you know, in terms of the message that we're trying to create and the community that we're trying to create. And it hit, and then so as any business and anybody who's had that experience, you sort of are not, then you're trying to catch up to what's happening. Yeah, and you're like, okay, we either need to like, and you're just full speed ahead into it, you know, or else, you know, your company will, you know, fall, it will falter. But inside of it, I realized that women are so scrutinized in the business world. It's really interesting, but not in a bad way. But it's almost like it was the first time I realized, like, oh, I have to really step up to the plate here and like be a businesswoman in a room full of guys. Like, oh, this is a whole other thing. I'd never experienced that before. Now I'm 3 years in and I'm very used to it. I really kind of actually like it. But I want more female partners, and I think it's a great balance. And I think when you can work together alongside, you know, for instance, I think, you know, the more that we have women who are successful in business, the more every board and every business should have at least 40% women on boards in companies. And you know, when you start looking at boards, and it's not like put your fist in the air and no, it's because it makes for a better company.
Of course, yeah.
You know, and I really believe that, you know, because I like having my ruthless partner next to me, but I also like being the one who is the observant. You know, I like bringing my femininity to the boardroom, and it's a different approach, and it's such an important balance to have, and we're doing it. So it's like a really wonderful thing to see, you know, and I think it's taking my life in a direction that I'm really enjoying, because it really is about something I'm passionate about, which is women.
And body type and
everything.
And I was going to say to you, you just said the word passion, and that's what I was going to ask you the question. I think you're going to answer it that way. If we were to advise the young women here who are starting out to try to make to create their own businesses, the most important element when they start the business has to be the love for it, the passion, right?
Well, yes. I think here's the thing. Women, you know, it's like I've always been the kind of person like I don't want to rock the boat. You know, I never want to rock the boat. And I think women are sort of, just by nature, you know, it's like we sit back from things. We know this statistically. Mm-hmm. You know, you see it in the classroom, you know, and it took me a while to be confident with my voice, to speak out. And I realized that that's not, you know, that's just normal. It's actually being female. It's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. But it took me a second to feel really confident about, like, oh, you know what, I have something to say, it's important, and it might be helpful to this moment in this room, you know. And the more that I started to speak my mind, and the more that my throat chakra started to open up, and I was like, oh, that felt really good. The more that I felt confident in that, I realized that it was, that I had more, I felt like I was actually, you know, helping out. Now, I feel like, the thing that I'd want to give young women is to never have that moment where they feel like that I have, where they feel like they don't have something to say, you know.
It's very important.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, that's, you know, it's been interesting.
I know we're going to wrap up soon, but I want to 5 minutes because I want to wrap up soon and just ask you quickly. I know you have 2 big movies coming out. One of them being with Jennifer Aniston, Mother's Day. talk quickly about it. Tell them what's coming up on the big screen. And wait a minute, first, are you going to the Oscars next week?
No.
Oh man, you see, that's my red
Oh,
card.
I'm gonna go to the party.
You're gonna go to the party. But then I was doing a post-Oscar fashion thing, and you're always the star of it. So.
Oh, it's fun. I love getting dressed up. It's really fun.
But so let's go
not
talk
this
about
year.
Mother's Day. Okay.
I think I have too many pimples to go to the Oscars. I'm too tired. No. Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Mother's Day comes out on Mother's Day. It's Gary Marshall who directed it. I did a movie with him called Raising Helen, and then he also directed Overboard. So when I was little, I was 7.5, 8 on the set of Overboard with my parents, and it was summertime, so us kids were all running around.
One of my favorite movies.
Gary Marshall is a family guy, right? So Gary Marshall is all about family on movie sets and sets it up for the kids, and he's just the greatest man ever. So then Raising Helen, which I actually, at the end of that movie, was pregnant with Ryder. Little trivia, that there's a couple scenes in there where I'm hiding a little belly. And then years later now, he does this movie, called Mother's Day, and he just, he does like the New Year's, he did the New Year's where he did the Valentine's Day, and now it's Mother's Day. So, of course, Julia, this is I think the third film that she's done, third or fourth film, and Jen and I, Gary asks, and you're like, yeah, I'm coming. And it was really fun. I didn't get to work with Julia Roberts, which really I was kind of bummed out about because I just love her so much. But I did get to work with Jen, and she got to work with Julia. Yeah, it was a blast. I think people are going to really enjoy it. It's just like a feel-good movie about women and the complications of modern women and today, and marriages and divorces and family issues.
I can't wait. I saw the trailer. It looks amazing.
Really fun. And then in the fall I have Deepwater Horizon with Wahlberg coming out, and that's about the BP oil spill.
Wow.
And that my dad's in. So Kurt's in that as well, but we didn't work together, which was kind of hilarious. We're like, we're doing a movie together, but we don't work together.
So you didn't see him?
Yeah, and I was really excited because they came to me, and then they hadn't cast, or they wanted to cast, obviously Mark was doing it, they wanted to cast the wife. They came to me, I was like, yeah, it's Wahlberg.
I'll do that.
Of course. And then they went to my dad. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, Pop, please do it. And there we were. It was so
Very
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, so wrapping up, Kate, for you are pretty happy right now?
I'm pretty happy.
The boys are good? 2 boys?
Boys are great. I got a tween,
Yeah, that's...
which means he's almost a teenager. We know what that means. He's basically a teenager.
Well, wait till he's a teenager. It gets worse.
It's kind of awesome though. I'm kind of loving this puberty stage. It's hilarious. And like I just watch him do his little hormonal things. I'm like, you are hormoning out. You need to like go to your room and punch a pillow or something. It's really funny. I feel like there's a way to deal with kids going through puberty, which is you just sort of like let them do it and just acknowledge it. Or maybe I'm totally wrong and he's gonna end up like crazy. But no, it's great. And my little one is just as cute as can be. He's 4. It's the age you want to bottle because they're just becoming like little men. They're right out of the toddler stage, but still kind of the little toddler. Oh, he is just edible.
Well, you're in the thick of it. A tween and a 4-year-old. And a huge career.
And then, I'm like, I'm the mom that's like FaceTiming them all day, like doing things, and I'm like, and they're like, they're like, because I'm working mom, and you're sitting there going like, did you do your homework? And you're, and then they're just wild right now, so I'm like disciplining them over FaceTime. It's really funny. It's like the modern day, I kind of feel like I need to make a movie about that. Like the modern working girl, Anyway.
Well, I think I want to first thank you so much and say, honestly, this is why we love it. It makes it so real. congratulations for everything you've been doing, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, you guys, this evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for being such good troopers. We are so sorry for, the time and the time frame. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. So let's get started with the awards portion of our event. I want to thank everyone. My name is Catherine Rousseau. I'm the Vice President of OWIT South Florida, and I want to thank everyone for coming. Especially Kate Hudson, thank you so much. She's still here, so let's still give her a round of applause. What a great interview. At this time, I'd like to begin the awards. Our fabulous award winners, which are Rebetel Malka, there she is, Lori Medici,